So in the last video and before that video, we have learned lots of concepts related to vector space like distance, norms, and their various types and features of them. In ML, all these concepts used to identify the clusters in unlabeled dataset. So what is mean by clusters? Cluster is a basically group of data. So by analyzing our last videos, related to distance and norms. Basically, distance between two points are not enough for the context we are going to use in machine learning. So, we need something different to measure the similarity between those points. So, this is done by inner products and what we called as dot products. When we were in the school, we have done dot product thing, right? So, to find the angle between two points or two vectors, we basically use the dot products of these two vectors and then we finally get our angle. If norms answer the question that how far apart are two points, then inner products answer how similar are they. But vectors are not the only mathematical objects that can solve or can have an inner product. Functions can too. For two functions, f of x and g of x, this measures how similarly two functions behave over their domain. So if the product f of x and g of x is mostly positive, the inner product is large. If positive and negative contributions cancel, it can be small or zero. So, this idea is fundamental in kernel methods, Gaussian processes, functional analysis. So, inner products are used throughout the ML because they capture similarity, alignment, and projection. So, the applications like cosine similarity, it measures the similarity between text embeddings and image embeddings and recommendation vectors. Linear regression, that predictions are inner products between features vectors and models weights. If we take another example as recommendation systems, then user item preference scores are often inner products of learned embeddings. Now you are building a machine learning algorithm. You want to answer three different questions about your data. Question 1 asks, how similar are these two data points? Example, cat image and dog image. You need a similarity measure. So this is what the inner product gives you. Question 2, how big or important is one data point? Example, a word embedding may have a stronger or weaker representation. You need a length. So this is what norm gives you. And question 3, how far apart are two data points? Example, K means clustering needs distances. So you need a distance. Now imagine this that there were three completely separate formulas invented independently. That would be mess, right? So you could accidentally define a similarity measures that says two vectors are similar, while your distance measure says they are extremely far apart. So the geometry would become inconsistent. So mathematicians ask, can we build everything from one fundamental concept so that all these measurements agree with each other? The answer is yes. They choose the inner product as a foundation. From it, they can derive norm and distance. So everything stays consistent. Think of it like this: inner product, then norm, then distance. Instead of inventing three unrelated tools, we build one from another. Imagine YouTube. Suppose every video has similarity score. That example AI versus AI, which has 100 score. AI versus deep learning have 90 score, and AI versus cricket have 5 score. So now look only at AI versus AI score. This tells us something about AI video's own representation. This self similarity becomes a measure of its strength. That's exactly what mathematicians do. They say, if I already know how to measure similarity, then I automatically know how to measure the size. Here it comes, or here it means the norm. But as we discussed in the last video about norm that follows three simple properties: that it should be never be negative, doubling a vector should double its length, and the shortest path between two points should be straight line, which is a triangle inequality. So a real length should satisfy these things. And as we move further to the next concept, distance, which is computed using the norm. So that tells you how far apart two points are. And the entire purpose of this section is to show that similarity length, and distance are not the three separate ideas. They are deeply connected. If you know similarity, which is inner product, you can compute length, which is norm. And if you know length, you can recover similarity for norms that came from an inner product. That is why these relationships is so important, that it guarantees that all of geometry like angles, lengths and distances is built on one consistent mathematical foundation. Imagine you are at party and there are two people speaking. Alice is talking about machine learning and Bob is talking about cricket. So your microphone records both voices mixed together. The recording looks like a recorded signal is equal to Alice plus Bob's voice. So now suppose Alice's voice and Bob's voice are represented by two vectors. Case 1. Their voices are orthogonal. Notice that the dot product of both vectors will be 0. So they are orthogonal. Since they are completely independent, we can separate Alice's voice from Bob's almost perfectly. So this is exactly what many signal processing algorithms try to achieve. Let's talk about case 2. So in case 2, there are voices are not orthogonal. So now suppose we have a is equal to 1 comma 1 and b is equal to 2 comma 2. So the dot product becomes 4, which is very large. So these two signals are almost identical. Now it becomes extremely difficult to tell which part belongs to Alice and which part belongs to Bob. The information overlaps. So you might be thinking why orthogonality helps. Think of orthogonal vectors as different radio stations. Each station broadcasts on its own frequency because the frequencies are orthogonal, which is independent. Your radio can tune to one station without hearing the others. So, if all stations transmitted on exactly the same frequency, they would interfere and become impossible to separate. So, let's see how it connected to machine learning. So exactly the same idea happens in machine learning too. Suppose you have two features, height in centimeter and height in inches. So these contain almost the same information. They are not orthogonal. The model gets redundant information. Now consider height and favorite programming language. Knowing someone's height tells you almost nothing about their favorite programming language, right? So these features are much closer to being orthogonal. Each contributes different information. Let's take another example as PCA. So PCA finds new directions called principal components. So these components are required to be orthogonal. Why? Because each new component should capture the new information. If two components pointed in nearly the same direction, they would explain the same variation repeatedly. So orthogonality prevents that redundancy. Orthogonality and similarity are complementary but not opposing ideas. Like within the same concept or context, vectors should be similar so the model can retrieve and attend to relevant information. Across unrelated vectors should be close to orthogonal so the model can ignore the irrelevant information and reduce the redundancy. Within the model itself, some internal components benefits from learning orthogonal independent features to reduce the redundancy. So in LLMs and RAG, similarity finds what belongs together while orthogonality prevents unrelated information from being confused within it. So both are essential for good retrieval and effective attention.